Hey everyone, Derpy here back with another Battle Pirates video. This is my high Seas Heresy TLC Prize Pack 1. This is sped up to 4x speed, so don't worry if things seem to be going a little bit fast. You can see I have my 3 Zealots stacked up. I'm just going to run through this TLC and get things done as quickly as possible. These are partially built Zealots. You can see if you wait to the very end where I show you the build, that I don't have the whole thing kitted out, and I only have these ranked up and built with most of the weapons on there, and about half the specials, half the armors. So I'm going through this TLC here, and as you can see, even on 4x speed, I do have to go by the turrets several times to kill them all the way. If I had a full fleet kitted out, or I was maybe driving a little bit better, maybe had a crew on, things would go a little bit more easily. But you can see here I'm dodging, weaving in and out of turrets, trying to avoid the red fire field, red scattergun, trying to avoid the scattergun corrosive damage, as well as the fog cutter missile red fields, which you can see are landing on screen. I'm not always successful with that, and I do end up taking some damage from them sometimes. You can at least do this first prize pack for this first encounter in the first prize pack, instant repair, if you drive pretty well. But going through here, the ships are chasing me around, they're going off, they're chasing me, I'm trying to stay far enough away from them so I don't have too many things shooting at me at one time. Encounter 1 really isn't that big of a problem. You can do it with Pegasus certainly fine, and if your Zealots are built out a little bit more than mine, you'll do a little bit better. Damage taken here, you can see some corrosive, mostly penetrative, probably from these aura fields. A little bit 19 minutes of damage, and we're right into encounter number 2 of Prize Pack 1. Going through here, I'm blitzing through, I'm not stopping. I'm trying to kill if I have time, I'm shift clicking things that are already damaged, and I'm going around in circles, trying to avoid the damage from the other from the other Scourge ships. You can stop and slow down a little bit here if you want, but I'm not worried about that. They're going to stay there and not move. I'm going to spin around in a circle so I can kill them pretty easily. Looks like we have a couple turrets to kill here, and after that's done, we can go through down the main aisle, move off to the left a little bit, and just shoot at some things, which is pretty easy. Even though these Zealots are dealing a ton of damage, if you go and look at the damage stat, you'll see that I'm doing millions of damage, at least with a fully built fleet. But it is taking a while to kill the turret, so these things might have really high corrosive health, they might also have a really high corrosive resistance, might also just have a really high building health and hit point. But you can see the ships would stop and I'll just spin right around them and kill them pretty easily. You can also use your Pegasus, your War Pegasus fleet in this TLC, and it should do fine. I might have a video out in Prize Packs 2, 3, 4, going over that one. Might use my Zealot fleet again, I might also use my Pegasus fleet, so stay tuned for that. You can see I just have a couple turrets left here. You can see I'm spinning around in circles going crazy, keeping my ships all close together so I can have that buff and get the aura 6400 survival if I'm close together. And that's the end of encounter number 2. Damage taken is again mostly penetrative with a little bit of corrosive damage, which is what I kind of expected. Up to an hour, 10 minutes of repair time without actually clicking repair from the original 19 minutes. Encounter number 3 we have seen before, so you have some Zealots, and I'm just, again, spinning around in circles, doing my best to avoid these large red fire fields. If you want to watch my driving more closely, you could slow it down a little bit, I'm sure. If I do have some time, I will stop next to the turrets and spend a couple minutes, a couple seconds shooting at those, and then keep dodging around weaving. When you're watching this sped up, you can see really how much I am weaving around and how long it is taking me to do these targets in real time. If I played these back at 1x speed, it would probably take about 20-24 minutes to do this TLC with these 4 targets. So if you are using only 3 Zealots, it seems like you might have some trouble getting the Mastery Prize Pack done if you only have 1 hour to do that, which I'm not quite sure. You do get Zealot build tokens in this DLC, and you should probably save them until we know what our final build is and have seen the flagship and everything else that might or might not come out before the first raid, or even in the first raid after the first raid, for example. But you can see here I'm dodging, weaving, moving around in circles, trying to avoid as much damage as I can. If you keep moving, you'll do fine. Enemy ships are going around here, but I'm not worried about them too much. They don't do a ton of damage to me. I have 2 million health points, so I don't really have to worry about that. If things do fire at me, again, I do have to move, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. The damage is adding up, though, from all these dozens of turrets and dozens of ships over this is the 3rd encounter now. The 4th encounter is the last one for Prize Pack 1. The damage is adding up, so my ships are taking a little bit of a beating. You can see a little bit of corrosive, a little bit of penetrative damage, and we're into encounter number 4, which is the final one. This one is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and take my ships and I'm going to park them right about here for as long as I can. My flagship, or the one that's in the flagship position, is more damaged than the others. Zealot number 1 is more damaged, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that one to make sure that it's not taking any extra damage, and it's going to sit a little bit behind everything else. So if things do come in and shoot at me and do deal accuracy-based damage, I'm not going to end up taking that much damage. You can see all the ships are swarming around me right now, and they're doing a bunch of damage to me, but because my 2 million hit points, it's going to take a little bit more than that to kill me. All the ships are dead now, and it should be a little bit easy. You can see I can blitz straight through here against these 3 turrets in the center. When those are dead, I'm going to go ahead and move off to the right side. If you move up to the top of the screen, you will avoid most of the damage from the turrets right down below you, which you want to do. You want to avoid damage. Again, these targets, we've all seen them before. We have used Pegasus ships in them before, so you should be able to do that perfectly fine with that kind of fleet. But I'm just showing you my 3 partial build Zealots, and by the way, full build coming up in just a second, so you can understand sort of what I'm doing in this particular TLC. Almost there now, just the last turret cluster kill, and looks like my Zealot ship number 1 is not going to make it through. It is going to die. A little bit more corrosive damage in that one because I was standing still at the beginning and not dodging around the enemy ships. Prize pack 1 is complete. You get a bunch of nice prizes, including some Zealot build tokens, which you don't have to worry about stacking, as well as some upgrade kits. Here are the prizes for the rest of the prize packs 2, 3, 4, which again, I will have a video out. So let's take a look at my build and my total damage I got. This was actually quite a painful target, I would say. 5 hours of damage is not great. The build I'm showing you is my partial build that I'm fairly sure on for the raid. Sure enough to build it up at least. Only 3 Zealots, all built exactly the same, all fully ranked. If you have any questions on the build, go ahead and drop a comment and I'll make sure to answer. I'm going to go ahead and cut to an end screen now, so if you like this, make sure to leave a like, and if you want more Battle Pirates videos, you can subscribe. And as always, this is Derpy, signing out, helping you be a better pirate.